Adjusting to the new restrictions is a challenge for heavy smokers and those who drink alcohol, but it could be life-threatening for some South Africans. The SA Drug Policy Initiative argues government's decision to ban the sale of alcohol and tobacco is wrong and discriminates against the poor. The organisation says the rule also puts the health of the mentally ill at risk. For more on this, I'm joined by Shaun Shelly, Chairperson of the South African Network of People Who Use Drugs. A very good morning to you, Shaun. So tell us why you think it's wrong.
I think that the reason why it's wrong is because basically denying people alcohol could be life-threatening if they're alcohol dependent. We know that in South Africa, the top 10% of drinkers drink 70% of the alcohol, and we've got up to 12.4% of the population are alcohol dependent in some way or have an alcohol use disorder. And these people will be at particular risk if they can't get any alcohol at all. On the surface, it might sound like quite a good idea to restrict the amount of alcohol, and certainly alcohol is linked with a number of things that are not desirable in this situation. But I think people's health is important, and certainly there should be some access to alcohol for people who haven't been able to stockpile.
Shaun, tell us why it is life-threatening, possibly, for those who rely and are addicted to alcohol.
Basically, if you stop using alcohol rapidly, you get withdrawal symptoms, and you develop a thing called delirium tremens, which is a form of delirium where you lose touch with the world. And it can be life-threatening, and in about 4% or up to 4% of people who actually develop the DTs, they can die, so that's quite a lot of people, if you consider that. So 4% of people could die from this, of the people that actually develop it.
So how do you get the balance here? How do you restrict the sale of alcohol and make sure that the majority of the population benefit?
I think that's quite a challenging question, but what I would suggest is having limited times when liquor outlets are open, or that there's some way of identifying people who are perhaps dependent, but we don't really know who's dependent until it's maybe too late. So I think that what we've got to do is we've got to help each other here. The people that don't need the alcohol should rather not drink it to the extent that they would normally, and maybe just keep some in reserve in case somebody they know actually, develops sort of withdrawal symptoms, and they can give them small amounts so that they don't actually go into withdrawal.
And are we pushing innocent people into the hands of criminals?
I think that's the second point, is that we're going to see the legal production or the legal sale of alcohol, the legal sale of unregistered cigarettes or illegally manufactured cigarettes, and we don't know what goes into those things. Especially with the alcohol, you've got the danger of people mixing up ethanol and methanol, which is a deadly mistake, which has been made many times before. And we're moving away from regulated products to unregulated products, and that's always a bad move. Anything that's unregulated is usually more dangerous than something that's regulated.
And Shaun, what happens to those who go to Alcohol Anonymous, for example, and those who need some sort of drug support counselling? Where is the coronavirus clampdown leaving them?
I think that a lot of people who rely on support structures are in quite a difficult position. The advantage today is that we've got technology. So I don't use the word social distancing. I prefer physical distancing, and I say we should remain physically distanced but socially integrated, and set up support structures for each other, in particular people who are perhaps older, who are more vulnerable to suffering withdrawal symptoms from alcohol, and there should be some sort of online support for them. And I'm sure that amongst some of the support groups that does exist, but we must remember to be compassionate towards people we know and watch out for the people who might suffer.
As you say, physical distance and social integration is the way to go. Shaun Shelly, thank you.